had its world premiere in New York, and we'll come to that in a minute. But it also had a preview in London's West End, and afterwards we asked various people how they'd reacted to the first Bond movie in 6 years.
I thought it was excellent, really, really good. Pierce Brosnan is the ultimate Bond. I mean, it makes you forget about Sean Connery and Roger Moore.
It seems to take a little bit of the mick of the old Bond films, and yet does it with class and style.
Pierce Brosnan was really good. Although he's quite old, I thought, yeah, he's quite good looking.
I think that he's not as hammed up as Roger Moore, and I think he's really got what it takes. He's sexy, he's cool, he's fit, he's just brilliant.
Better than the last one. He's really good. He's got all the charm, and he's got all the looks, and you know what I mean. And he's fit, he's strong, and blah blah blah. Yeah, he's all right. He's all right.
I actually thought struck me as he was too thin. Actually, he just looked a bit weedy. But yeah, no, he came across very well.
I thought Pierce Brosnan really worked, unlike perhaps some of the people that have tried it recently. He's got charm, and but it was all sort of tongue-in-cheek. So there's a certain amount of comedy and all the cliches are coming out, and I like the fact that M is now a woman.
More power to women. I think she was really good. I mean, I found it quite, camp and all the old sexual cliches, but you can't fault it.
I think it's bound to be a success. I was kind of a little bit disappointed at the end. It wasn't as good an action film as, say, True Lies or something like that.
I thought it was quite good. I was a bit disappointed it was a bit too cliched, I think.
Very good. Lots of explosions, lots of action. Very good.
It's just action-packed and everything. It was really good. It's the best one they've done for ages.
That's it, Barry. That's it. A day at the office, and well, I'll see you. So be kind.
Isn't it irritating? A remark like that makes you want to say something really nasty out of sheer spite. But damn it, I can't bring myself to do it. Goldeneye, Bond's 17th preposterous adventure, opens with a stunt so outrageously spectacular, 007 free-falling without benefit of parachute to climb into the cockpit of a pilotless aeroplane, that you simply have to cheer. Mind you, nothing half as breathtaking happens afterwards, but even so, Goldeneye, cheerfully plagiarising the previous 16 films for its ideas and setups, does succeed in dragging Bond into the 1990s, though only just.
I'm here. I'm here.
Hurry! Hurry up! Come on! We're gonna die! We do something! Get the south up here!
I'm a little tied up. Never mind.
The fact is that there's something old-fashioned, comfortingly old-fashioned about this film, with its familiar Russian bad guys and its well-worn post-Cold War plot, wherein brooding Sean Bean purloins a deadly Soviet missile, threatens to take out London and generally holds the world to ransom. Alongside him, there's a lively villainess in Famke Janssen as a KGB-trained killer who could crack walnuts between her thighs. Actually, she prefers to use them for cracking men's necks, leaving her victims dead but smiling blissfully. On the top is her name, and on the top is how she likes it, being constantly on the point of orgasm when the rough stuff starts. Alongside Bond is the traditional CIA agent Joe Don Baker, and of course the obligatory romantic interest, Isabella Scorupco, who is thankfully sassier and more classically beautiful than the usual Bond pin-up. A few things have changed. There's less sex than there used to be, and by way of lip service to political correctness, M has become a woman, Judi Dench. But we can handle that. After all, I can remember when Bond's regular CIA mucker Felix Leiter, who'd been white all his life, suddenly turned black overnight and nobody noticed. So M in a skirt and justly accusing Bond of being a male chauvinist pig is easy to take.
They made him a general.
He sees himself as the next Iron Man of Russia.
which is why our political analysts rule him out. He doesn't fit the profile of a traitor.
Are these the same analysts who said the Goldeneye couldn't exist? Who said the helicopter posed no immediate threat and wasn't worth following?
You don't like me, Bond. You don't like my methods. You think I'm an accountant. A bean counter, more interested in my numbers than your instincts.
The thought had occurred to me.
Good. Because I think you're a sexist, misogynist dinosaur. A relic of the Cold War. Whose boyish charms, though wasted on me, obviously appeal to that young woman I sent out to evaluate you.
Point taken.
Not quite, 007. If you think for one moment I don't have the balls to send a man out to die, your instincts are dead wrong. I've no compunction about sending you to your death. But I won't do it on a whim, even with your cavalier attitude towards life.
Oh, that's telling him. Now, I have to concede that Goldeneye is not as eye-catching as Arnie Schwarzenegger's ersatz Bond adventure True Lies. But on the plus side, it doesn't have Arnie Schwarzenegger. The supporting cast is fine and everything breezes enjoyably along under Martin Campbell's energetic direction, which really leaves only Pierce Brosnan to consider. He is, I have to agree, rather too slender to be altogether plausible when beating the daylights out of big, strong men or even women with walnut-cracking thighs. But he has the dark, good looks, the cool poise and the throwaway style with the one-liners, of which, by the way, there aren't enough to merit respectful consideration alongside Sean Connery and Roger Moore in the 007 hierarchy. To put it another way, I think he will do very nicely, which means, curse it, that I have been kind. Well, next time maybe. But now back to that world premiere in New York, and from there Tom Brooke, our man from Smersh, shaken, or maybe just stirred, sends this report.
The Goldeneye premiere took place at New York's landmark Radio City Music Hall. Dozens of celebrities showed up, all of them claiming to be big James Bond fans.
Oh, I love James Bond.
Miss McCall, what made you come here tonight?
Pierce!
Pierce was definitely the man everyone wanted to see. Brosnan almost became Bond 9 years ago. Since then, he lost his wife to cancer. The premiere brought up a mixture of emotions, but he's definitely pleased to be playing 007.
This is huge. This happens once in a life. What can you say? It's a very... it's a night of emotional resonance in more ways than one. You know, there's an absence here tonight, but there's a great celebration of this for my family and for the picture.
I'm not used to this.
Desmond Llewellyn, who's long portrayed the gadget-crazy Q, was also at the premiere, as was the new Bond girl, played by Isabella Scorupco.
You know, a lot of people think being a Bond girl is a bit of an outdated concept. What is your response to those people?
I just think, you know, I am so comfortable with my character, and I don't have to defend it because she's a very smart, independent girl.
The first James Bond film was released 33 years ago, but everyone at the premiere was eager to point out that there's nothing old-fashioned about Goldeneye.
I think this is the sort of Bond that's been brought up to date back in the 90s with a bang, you know, and I think it's going to appeal to many people, you know, of all age ranges and whatever, yeah.
New York's Museum of Modern Art was the site of a lavish post-premiere party. MGM UA, the studio behind Goldeneye, spent a small fortune on the event, no doubt hoping the invited celebrities would tell reporters how much they liked the film. Most of them did.
I thought it was entertainment I haven't seen since I was a kid, you know? There were no swear words, there was no sex, gratuitous sex. It was great, wholesome entertainment, and I thought Pierce Brosnan makes a superb James Bond.
He really is terrific. I think he's going to be a big, big hit.
What did you think of the movie?
Sexy and misogynist. I just heard somebody say it down the line and it sounded good. Sexy and misogynist.
The Museum of Modern Art was turned into a James Bond-like casino to help publicize Goldeneye. In fact, last week, much of New York was at the mercy of all kinds of promoters with a stake in the Bond franchise. A police patrol led an interminable parade of the new Bond cars to the premiere in an effort to get attention for the vehicle. And earlier in the day, part of Central Park had been cordoned off to enable Pierce Brosnan to participate in a BMW publicity stunt. BMW corralled Desmond Llewellyn, and he was made to recreate his role as Q in a Bond-like mini-drama designed to promote the new car.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's wrong. This way.
In its review, the New York Times wrote that Goldeneye is as much a merchandising event as it is a wishfully nostalgic movie. Overall, the reviews have been mixed. Pierce Brosnan and the stunts both get high marks. But some critics thought Goldeneye didn't match the standard of big-budget action films that younger American moviegoers have grown accustomed to.
Yeah, we thought it was a letdown. I mean, it looked like it was stealing parts of Steven Seagal movies, Die Hard, and they put it all together, and it just didn't work.
I loved it. I'm a big fan of Pierce Brosnan. I thought he was convincing as Bond. They had all the classic elements. They had the Russians, they had the babes, they had the cool gadgets. I'm a big fan. Definitely good.
I love Pierce Brosnan. He's very believable and attractive. He had a lot of vulnerability also within his performance.
There are some spectacular stunts in Goldeneye, and Pierce Brosnan has the right sensitivity and look for the new James Bond. But the 007 formula, rooted as it is in the 1960s, seemed to operate more effectively when Russia was the enemy, when more sexist attitudes prevailed. Now it's 1995, the Cold War is over, sexual politics have changed, and Goldeneye, however hard it tries, can't quite recreate the fantasy of Bond films from the past. If any of you out there having a problem with what I'm saying, just remember, the name's Brooke, Tom Brooke.
Tom, what was that again? Sorry. Bit sniffy, I thought, one or two of those American reviews and Men in the Street, but I reckon it's a safe bet that Goldeneye will figure prominently in the next list of the top 10 films in London.